Good day. This is Mansouri from Mansouri Immigration Firm in Vancouver BC. Today I'm going to explain some details and some overview about the federal self-employed program, which is one of the most controversial and most sought after programs in the Canadian business class subsections. So how the self-employed program works is that unlike many other entrepreneurial or startup programs that are combined with a dual intent work permit, which will later on be able to convert to PR status within Canada, is designed in a way that the applicant applies for the self-employed program directly for the PR without any dual intent work permit in between. And after assessment and after the process takes time and it is eventually finalized, the person comes to Canada with PR status. So this is one of the reasons that this class is very sought after and very interesting. This class used to be for people with experience in athletic programs, like sports people, like different athletic subgroups, for farm owners and operators, and for people active in cultural divisions and cultural activities. The government has, however, eliminated the farm subsector and agricultural subsector. So for now, this program is only open for artists and sports people. If you have 2 years or a combination of 2 single years of experience in your home country at a top level and as a professional level, or some of your experience or all of your experience meets a world-class definitions, you can look at this program as a good potential for yourself. You must prove that you have relevant experience and you were in fact earning income, and the main stream of your income for your livelihood was the cultural activity that you're applying under, or the athletic activities that you're applying under. In addition, you need to have enough funds, enough money to prove that for the first year of your stay in Canada, in addition to your family, because they will all be coming with you, I mean your spouse and your children under 22 years of age, you have enough funds to support yourself before your self-employment in Canada starts generating enough income within the country so that you can move on to earning income in Canada. This is an objective measure. So there is no minimum threshold. For example, you need to have $100,000 equity or more or less. But the officers will look at your subjectively at your application, but also objectively as what are the costs and what are the necessary income and necessary funds for you, depending on what city you're targeting to come settle in Canada, depending on the size of your family, etc. Depending on the nature of the business that you will want to be in Canada, you will need to show enough funds also for starting at least your business. A person can be, for example, a coach in soccer. So this person might potentially want to open their own gym, so they might need some money to start the business, as opposed to another person who is a famous, or not necessarily too famous, but very smart and very talented singer, where the singer doesn't require to have their own studio or their own arena for that matter. So the funds differ on the case-by-case basis. You need to show strongly in your application that you will have the intent and ability to become financially self-sufficient and start earning money in Canada on the same profession and on the same area of expertise that you've claimed in your application. And this ability and this likelihood depends vastly on a variety of different areas. Your ability to speak English to a reasonable extent, at least CLB 5, at least an IELTS 5. Your funds, as we talked about it, your past experiences, your intent, your intention, your good faith, and regarding the location where you want to establish yourself. As a art teacher for children, if you're targeting to go to Vancouver or to Toronto, you're facing huge competition. Unless the kind of art that you want to teach is very spectacular, very unique. Otherwise, there is plenty of places where people can send their children to learn art. On the contrary, if you target a city elsewhere in Canada that is underserved, that not enough access to teachers for art exists for parents and for children, you have a better likelihood of establishing that yes, I will potentially, most likely, be successful in that city. So this is extremely important to know what location you're applying to and what sorts of expertise you're bringing to the location compared to the competition, compared to the demand, compared to the family's needs, compared to the family's affordability, compared to the family's age groups, etc., etc. Also, it is important in this category to show that you will cause a positive economic impact on the ecosystem in that particular area you're entering. For example, you will be directly or indirectly create jobs, right? So the contractors or even employees that would potentially work for you, or business providers that will serve you as another business or another sole proprietor business will benefit from your existence. So your business plan needs to clearly identify and outline, illustrate all the good potentials that you will bring with you to the location. In addition to that, you need to be able to tie your intended business and activity to the location. It's very important to show why you've chosen this particular city over the other particular cities, other hypothetical cities. Another very, very important factor is that in this class, when you look online on the government instructions, and this is one of the reasons that a lot of less experienced immigration lawyers or consultants fall into the trap of only following protocol without consulting like more senior counsel, without looking at experience, is that the pointing system, the pointing required here is merely at 35 points, which is broken down for age, education, language, etc. And there is no mentioning of a need for an IELTS or language score or a need for a specific amount of money, which unfortunately directly affects the officer's decision-making process and can indirectly cause a refusal in the application. So you don't really want to put too much weight and too much importance on the pointing system. On the contrary, you have to put your focus on establishing what criteria officers will look at. Officers will look at the criteria that I just talked about. Officers will also look at how active and how professional and how successful you were in your home country, and how are you able and willing. These both are important. Your willingness shows through the market research that you've done in your business plan, which is our job for you. Your ability is shown through your CV, your narrative, your business plan that talks about your transferable skills, and your resume and your portfolio from back home. And the way you're going to translate your transferable skills and expertise that you have acquired over the years back home or internationally into the Canadian ecosystem, which is obviously probably different from where you're coming from or from where you have conducted business before. Another important factor that I was going to talk about is adaptability is obviously a key point. If you have relatives in that city, in that province, or friends that are going to help you better establish or better integrate into the society will help. But more importantly, the indirect impact that your business plan and your activities will have on the location, from a cultural standpoint, from a traditional standpoint, from an educational standpoint, economic standpoint, is extremely important. The question is, yes, if you come to, for example, say Kitchener, Ontario, and open a dance studio, you want to teach dance, international folk dance to children and to youth, will you potentially likely cause income for other people in the city? Yes. Directly and indirectly, contractors or employees, etc. Are you likely to succeed? Yes, because you've done a lot of research, you have a good background, you know exactly what you want to do. But are you going to have a positive cultural impact on the location, on the society where you're targeting? This is very important. If you're just coming to make money for yourself and you can demonstrate that you will definitely make money, this will not be enough, because you will need to cause earning and cause a situation that other Canadians will benefit from the attributions that your business will have to the ecosystem there, and therefore create a better environment where people are more successful. Not necessarily directly by means of hiring them as an entrepreneur, sometimes yes, sometimes no, but at least remotely, by proxy, by virtue of the nature of your business. And also, are you going to have a positive impact on the culture, or no, you're just going to sit in your basement behind your computer and make a ton of money for yourself and for your employees, but you will not have any impact on the location, on the society here. So these are some of the important factors. One thing to consider is that with the self-employed program, it's not like the entrepreneur programs where we go step by step, and at every step we see that we progress, our application is progressing, we get an invitation to apply, for example, our business concept has received good points, we have a good chance in the pool, or later on we're invited, we will submit our business plan. If the business plan raises any concerns for the officer or for the program manager, they will email us and raise their concerns, and we will have an opportunity to address those concerns and potentially overcome those and come to the interview stage, later on get our work permit, come establish the business, blah, blah, until a stage where you get your PR eventually. Unlike these programs, self-employed program is a black and white situation, meaning you put together an application, needs to be strong enough because it goes to the IRCC, it gets dusted on the desk until its turn comes. The officer will probably request an update from you showing what you've been doing in the past, say, a year and a half that they've been processing, or they've been waiting to process your application, and that's it. There will most likely be no room for you to argue or go back and forth and fix things that have been set wrong in your initial application. So this is a black or white situation. If your application was strong, it's a good thing. If your application was done lousily, it's a bad thing. So this is one of the important differentiations between the entrepreneur PNP applications and this particular federal self-employee program. Another thing is that it takes some time. It takes 2 to 3 years to process realistically. But on the upside, you will enter with PR. You will enter with no undertaking signed, no performance agreement signed. You will have the luxury of enjoying all the rights and benefits that permanent residents enjoy while you're in Canada. You will have the mobility rights, you can change your location, everything. But your intent and your plan needs to be in good faith, and it has to be serious enough and in accordance with well done, top-notch market research, surveys, anything necessary for the business plan, and later on for the implementation of your plan, therefore. I hope this information will be beneficial for anyone looking into the self-employed program. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. We'll be glad to offer our hand, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.